So what?
Eazy-E or Suge Knight?
Damn, give me
I love that! Be a too. I can't choose neither. Tupac or Nipsey? You take a shot.
Take another.
Dr. Dre or Puff Daddy?
Dr. Dre. You know this Puffy show, y'all gonna cut this out. Just so you know, Puffy's sons and my sons have been best friends since they were 6, 7 years old.
Make some noise from that.
I didn't make it happen and Puffy didn't make it happen. One night I was at my house and Puffy's son was over about like 9 o'clock and I'm like, cuz, what time you going home? And he like, I'm spending the night.
When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it.
Walking to a party, standing in there is Puffy, Dre, Snoop. What do you say?
First of all, you know I don't go to those type of parties. You know, I'm straight.
Man, Snoop was saying, y'all, there ain't no East Coast, West Coast beef.
I swear. We ain't coming to talk about nothing behind us. We come to talk about what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
We here to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? So we want y'all to stay in school and keep y'all heads in y'all books.
No doubt. Knowledge is power, y'all.
Because, you know, we're the future, so it's on us to make a change.
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power.
Remember when Katt Williams dropped those bombs on Club Shesha and people swore he had completely lost it? Everybody laughed, brushed him off, and said he was spiraling. But now that energy feels real different. Back then, even Steve Harvey looked shaky, dodging conversations and cutting interviews short whenever Katt's name came up. Fast forward to today, and suddenly federal witnesses are allegedly naming major figures in sealed testimonies, while Kim Porter's real diary is rumored to include compromising photos that were never meant to see daylight. All those wild claims Katt made back then are starting to line up in ways nobody expected. This doesn't feel like random gossip anymore. It feels like receipts slowly waking up. As Hollywood rushes to distance itself from Diddy's empire, the same names Katt once mentioned are now being whispered about in serious legal spaces.
Connected my kids with Puff kids, and they formed a friendship and a bond. When Justin went to UCLA, my son went to UCLA. When Christian was rapping, my son was rapping. When he was modeling, they was flying over the world together. So they forged a friendship and a brotherhood.
I'd like to thank Snoop and Puff for stopping by and dropping this knowledge on you all. All right, now, any questions?
Yeah, so Mr. Hightower, who you gonna let sample your song?
Yeah, Steve. I talked to my man Shook. He's gonna charge us half of what you was trying to charge.
$50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
I'm not poking anything. I'm asking y'all reaction to seeing him on Club Shay Shay talking with Shannon Sharp.
Ain't nobody say, you know, the thing about it is, man, that at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. We all brothers in this game. It's all entertainment.
For years, mainstream media clowned him, calling him unstable, saying he had a meltdown and lost control. But what if that so-called breakdown was really a breakthrough? Because piece by piece, Katt's crazy predictions are turning into cold, hard paperwork. While everyone else was chasing lights, money, and fame, Katt was allegedly doing something else entirely. Watching, listening, and stacking truth. 30 years of observing Hollywood's darkest corners, staying quiet, and letting time do the talking. Just long enough to stay protected, and the moment Katt Williams finally spoke up, the entire industry flinched. Katt didn't just have suspicions about what was going on behind closed doors. He believed he had proof, and that's what really scares people with power. While other comedians played it safe and guarded their careers, Katt was allegedly stacking a whole vault of secrets that could shake the industry to its core. And this is where it gets even deeper. Even Candace Owens, someone known for calling out powerful figures without blinking, publicly backed him up. She pointed out that similar claims had floated around before, but Katt was the first one to say it loud, say it clearly, and keep saying it. She also reminded people that Katt had already hinted at what was coming during his interview with Shannon Sharp, way before lawsuits started popping up. In that interview, Katt confidently said he would tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Not long after, lawsuits began surfacing. Lawsuits that named some of the most powerful figures in music. One case even pointed directly at Universal Music Group, accusing them of sitting at the top of a deeply disturbing operation. According to those claims, Diddy wasn't the mastermind. He was allegedly operating under someone else, a powerful executive named Lucian Grange.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it for all of its precious jewels.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met.
And that's where things take a dark turn. The lawsuit suggested Diddy and Grange had a personal connection, claiming Grange knew about these secret parties and may have been involved himself. Candace broke it down in the clearest way possible. She said Diddy was the public face, while Lucian Grange was the power working behind the curtain. Universal allegedly knew. Everyone had a role. And yet, instead of digging into those claims, the media flipped the spotlight fast. They didn't question the allegations, they went after Candace. They mocked her for reading the lawsuit and brushed off the idea of an organized operation in Hollywood like it was nothing. Candace said she was shocked by how quickly the conversation shifted away from the accusations and straight into silencing anyone asking real questions. That's when it stops being just about Diddy and starts being about control. Her tone made it clear she wasn't simply defending Katt Williams, she was backing up the idea that his information had been lining up for years. Katt had been calling out hidden connections long before investigators ever stepped in, and now it's all circling back. Every secret, every whisper, every so-called wild claim suddenly doesn't sound so wild anymore. Candace Owens didn't just agree with Katt. She confirmed he seemed to know what was happening long before the public caught on. She pointed out that Katt appeared to have inside knowledge of Diddy's alleged ties and Lucian Grange, details that later surfaced in federal court filings. Let that sink in for a second. The man people labeled paranoid was actually years ahead of the conversation.
And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
So Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucian Grange was having some sort of a relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy, that Lucian Grange was aware of these parties, that Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucian Grange.
Candace also made it clear that dismissing people as conspiracy theorists is a common tactic used to shut down uncomfortable questions. She said she isn't afraid to ask questions, especially when serious allegations are already on record. She said people facing zero consequences was pure insanity, and to her, that was proof something much deeper and darker was happening in Hollywood. Then Candace said what most people wouldn't dare say out loud. Hollywood isn't just an industry, it's a gang. According to her, it's not agents or executives quietly pulling strings, it's an organized system moving like criminal enterprise, protecting its own while shutting down anyone who speaks up.
So Drake and Diddy's sugar daddy was just revealed, and wow guys, so Lil Rod's lawsuit revealed that Diddy's entire lifestyle was financed by a man named Lucian Grange. Lucian is a powerful man in the music industry, as he's the CEO of Universal Music Group that owns labels like Motown Records and is partnered with Roc Nation. Kanye West revealed that Lucian is like a sugar baby daddy to rappers like Drake and Diddy. Essentially, these rappers are given everything they want in exchange for favors, like the kind of stuff you learned at Diddy's Flavor Camp. In Lil Rod's lawsuit, Lucian was actually sent a summons because he was named as someone who would attend these FO parties. Present at these FO parties were not of age ex-workers, as well as supplies. This is how business deals would go down. Drake and Diddy have been said to be on their knees for Lucian Grange.
And when someone with Candace's reputation for calling out corruption without fear says Diddy was being shielded by that kind of structure, things stop feeling like entertainment real fast. This starts looking like an empire built on leverage, pressure, and control. The real question isn't whether Katt Williams was right anymore. It's how many other stars are trapped in that same web. because now many of the things Katt hinted at are being echoed through sealed evidence, witness statements, and grand jury activity. Then one witness sent shockwaves through the conversation. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he claimed he was in possession of digital material allegedly tied to Diddy's private parties. He said there were 11 flash drives that supposedly came from the late Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner.
You have a particular current status of a case, either as a witness or as a subject or anything at this point?
No, I weighed all that I wasn't going to be a witness, and I didn't want to have nothing to do with the case.
And this is as far as a grand jury, or just in terms of
I was summoned twice to the grand jury. I was summoned just the other day, and my attorney sent me a letter to waive that I wasn't coming, that I didn't want to be involved. I didn't want to be a witness.
Is this a federal or state? It's federal grand jury.
Federal,
right?
federal.
And did you at any time take the fifth or ask for immunity or?
No, I went before one. I think they had me for the 29th. I was too far out to be there, so I came that Thursday. And when that was the last day I was there, that's when they took my phone.
According to Burgess, those drives allegedly contained video involving 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women recorded at these events while impaired. He also claimed there was a manuscript presented as Kim Porter's memoir, something her family has publicly denied in the past. Before any courtroom testimony, Burgess had already spoken about these claims on his podcast, setting off even more controversy. But everything shifted the moment he appeared before a federal grand jury. After testifying under oath, Courtney Burgess admitted he couldn't reveal specific details. He said the case was too sensitive and the people involved were too powerful. Investigators, he claimed, already know who the alleged victims in those videos are, but their names remain sealed, locked behind closed doors. That's when it hit everyone hard. This wasn't rumor anymore. This wasn't internet talk or YouTube speculation. This was active federal investigation territory. Burgess testified under oath about 11 flash drives allegedly containing intimate videos involving 8 celebrities and Sean Diddy Combs, 6 men and 2 women, all said to be visibly impaired. Even the news anchors covering the story handled it carefully, choosing every word with caution. They confirmed that the individuals shown were described as alleged victims of crimes. And while investigators know exactly who they are, their identities are being protected. During one discussion, hosts referenced a scene from an R-rated book adaptation where Snoop Dogg was reportedly seen in a compromising situation involving Diddy.
I've known about Kim's book, or what was supposed to be her book, this entire time. The truth is, Diddy was highly paranoid right before Kim passed away. And when he found out that her and Cassie were still secretly talking and meeting, it became a very explosive situation for everyone who knew about it. Pieces of that memoir have been acquired by the home team, and that actors were incorporated so that they could put just enough spin to create reasonable doubt in the jury pool. It's a smart play, but not with Kim's word.
The room reportedly went silent before someone muttered that men don't usually hold hands like that. The shock quickly turned into uneasy discussion. As more disturbing details surfaced, whispers grew about Diddy, Neo, and others allegedly involved in behavior that blurred the line between partying and exploitation.
How Snoop Dogg chooses between Dr. Dre and Diddy, and this might be the fastest answer ever on the Drink Champ show.
Cube or Scarface?
Ice Cube.
Damn. That's a hard one.
Ice Cube is my OG, Scarface is my peer.
Illmatic or Ready to Die?
Biggie Smalls, Ready to Die?
Yeah.
I love it when they call me Big Pop. Was that on there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Biggie.
Corrupt or Method Man?
Damn.
Take a shot?
I'm gonna take a shot on that one.
DJ Quick or Daz?
But I gotta go with DJ Quick. I know Dad's gonna be mad at me, but so what?
Eazy-E or Suge Knight?
Damn. Give me a shot.
I love that. Be a too. I can't choose neither. Tupac or Nipsey? Just take a shot.
Take another shot.
Dr. Dre or Puff Daddy?
Dr. Dre. I know this Puffy show, y'all gonna cut out.
That's when Snoop Dogg's name officially entered federal testimony. According to Burgess, he wasn't just holding videos, he also claimed to possess Kim Porter's original memoir, allegedly containing photos involving Diddy, Snoop, Andre Harrell, and other high-profile figures. This wasn't some internet rumor floating around online anymore. These were physical materials, actual evidence. According to the claims, Kim Porter herself had allegedly been collecting this information long before her passing in 2018.
Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him?
Sit with that for a second. Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's children, someone who lived in that world for years, may have been seeing everything from the inside. She wasn't just a partner in that space. She may have been an unwilling archivist, quietly holding on to information that later became relevant to a federal investigation. If true, that timing is impossible to ignore.
And then all of a sudden, they rush to do the coroner come in and say, yo, she had a back, she had pneumonia, she died of pneumonia, but nobody did no autopsy or nothing like that. Get out of here. Have her funeral, put in a gold casket. It takes, 2 months to get those gold caskets? Had it within a week? Or you're a millionaire, I guess you can. You're a multi-millionaire, you can get it that quick.
Kim passed away in 2018 from reported health complications right as pressure around Diddy's empire was beginning to rise. While her passing was officially ruled natural, the overlap has only fueled questions people continue to ask. If the alleged memoir is real, it suggests Kim may have understood the risks of what she knew. Not long after, Courtney Burgess claimed federal authorities seized some of his equipment, though he said backups existed. He stated that phones and studio devices were confiscated because of what they allegedly contained. The fact that law enforcement treated him as a key witness, not just a loud voice online, changed everything. These materials were handled as potential criminal evidence, signaling investigators believed there was real weight behind what was brought forward. And Burgess wasn't alone. Federal prosecutors reportedly now have multiple witnesses claiming that major celebrities attended Diddy's so-called freak-off parties. These weren't wild rumors or internet stories anymore. These were sworn testimonies describing what witnesses say happened behind closed doors. One witness even claimed she appeared in some of the same footage seized by Homeland Security, saying she had no memory of what happened to her until years later. When she finally connected the dots, she said the same famous faces seen in those recordings still smiled in her face like nothing ever happened. Before ending her account, she left a chilling warning, saying those videos may surface one day, but not in the way anyone expects. That revelation hit hard, because if Homeland Security seized material from Diddy's homes, it means investigators believed it held real evidentiary value. Not gossip, not speculation, but material tied to potential criminal cases.
No, Puffy's sons and my sons have been best friends since they were 6, 7 years old. I didn't make it happen and Puffy didn't make it happen. One night I was at my house and Puffy's son was over about like 9 o'clock. And I'm like, cuz, what time you going home? And he like, I'm spending the night. I'm like, did you tell your dad? He like, nah, my mom dropped me off. So Kim, rest in peace, was connecting my kids with Puff kids, and they formed a friendship and a bond. When Justin went to UCLA, my son went to UCLA. When Christian was rapping, my son was rapping. When he was modeling, they was flying over the world together. So they forged a friendship and a brotherhood that me and Puff always had. So if we got the opportunity to take these two brands and show people what it can be as opposed to what it used to be, that's...
According to witness statements, Snoop Dogg's name was mentioned among those allegedly linked to the footage. Think about that for a second. Federal agents don't collect random videos, they secure what they believe supports serious charges. If a name like Snoop appears in sealed evidence, the implications are massive. And as this case continues to deepen, long-buried ghosts from hip-hop's past are resurfacing, dragging the story back to one of the darkest, most haunting moments in music history, the night Tupac Shakur was killed. The night Tupac Shakur was killed in Las Vegas still hangs heavy over hip-hop history. An insider once raised a question that's never gone away. Was Snoop at the hospital? According to Suge Knight, the answer was no. Suge later said Snoop didn't go anywhere near the hospital after the shooting, something that felt strange even back then. Suge claimed he called him repeatedly, urging him to come see Tupac, but Snoop never showed. When Snoop eventually appeared later on, Suge said Tupac's mother was present too. Both of them confronted him. asking why he hadn't come to the hospital when Tupac was fighting for his life. According to Suga, Snoop said Tupac was upset with him and that he felt unwanted, saying he didn't want to make things worse. But Tupac's mother responded with something powerful. She told him that even when her son was angry with her, she still showed up because that's what love does. Then came the moment Suga said he never forgot. He recalled Snoop suddenly breaking down, crying uncontrollably, and even getting physically sick. Everyone in the room froze, thinking it was just emotion spilling over. But looking back, Suge said it felt heavier than that, like guilt weighing him down. Tupac's mother tried to calm him, saying things would be okay, but Suge later said it didn't feel like grief. To him, it felt like fear. Speaking years later from prison, Suga said he had nothing left to lose, which made his words hit harder. He was in the car the night Tupac was shot and even took a bullet fragment himself. That means he saw firsthand who showed up during Tupac's final days and who didn't. According to Suge, Snoop was nowhere around after the incident. When Snoop later visited Suge's home with Tupac's mother, Suge said his reaction was unsettling. Instead of offering hope, he reportedly kept repeating that nothing was going to be okay. It didn't sound like mourning. To Suge, it sounded like something else entirely. His theory was chilling. Suge believed Snoop had already made some kind of behind-the-scenes deal, and the weight of that secret was eating him alive. The timeline only made things look worse. Tupac was shot after confronting Orlando Anderson, a known gang member, and Snoop, someone long associated with that same world, was suddenly nowhere to be found while his closest friend fought for his life. But Suge said Snoop's absence was just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. To him, it pointed to a system of pressure and control that's ruled the music industry for decades. The same type of manipulation people now say is surfacing in Diddy's case. In an older interview, Suge described walking into a party where Diddy was present. When asked if he took part, he shut it down fast, saying he didn't throw or attend those kinds of parties. It wasn't said like a joke, it sounded like a line in the sand. According to Suge, certain private arrangements were used as leverage, not for pleasure, but for control. This wasn't about identity or personal choices, it was about power. He claimed artists were compromised and kept in line by forces above them, warning that unless people spoke up, the cycle would never end. Suge even suggested that Diddy was both victim and perpetrator, shaped by powerful figures before him like Russell Simmons, Andre Harrell, and Clive Davis. To Suge, this wasn't a new theory. It was the blueprint of the entertainment industry. Sitting behind bars with nothing left to gain, he seemed determined to finally say it out loud. His words didn't just point to personal scandals, they peeled back the curtain on something far bigger. What he described wasn't random behavior, it was a system. Suge described it as an institutional system, a long-running cycle where victims slowly turn into perpetrators as they climb higher up the ladder. He said it mirrors exactly what prosecutors are now uncovering in Diddy's federal case, a web built on manipulation, pressure, and silence. Suge didn't sugarcoat it at all. He claimed there's no need for whistleblowers because, in his view, the truth has been hiding in plain sight this whole time. According to him, everyone in the industry knows what's really going on. From Diddy to Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Snoop, and Dr. Dre, he said the knowledge is shared, but the silence is intentional. Once investigations start closing in, the same celebrities who once partied together suddenly disappear, acting like they were never connected. Suge said that kind of silence isn't accidental, it's strategy. He explained these weren't real friendships. They were alliances built on secrets. And when one person falls, everyone else scatters to protect themselves. But Suge made it clear he's in a different position now. Serving a life sentence, he said he has nothing left to lose. No career to protect, no image to maintain. That's what makes his words hit harder for a lot of people. When someone in his position starts naming names and describing how leverage and blackmail allegedly operate in the industry, it stops sounding like gossip and starts sounding like testimony, especially now, as his claims line up with what federal agents are reportedly uncovering in Diddy's case. Suge recently summed it up in his own words. He said he used to be a superstar, now he's just a soldier. He used to be a CEO, now he's just an inmate. Then came the moment that went viral, the mysterious boiled egg test. It started as a cryptic message until Suge allegedly explained what it really meant. The story goes like this. Diddy would allegedly hand someone a boiled egg and they had to prove themselves by placing it somewhere without breaking it. At first, people laughed it off like a weird joke, but the more stories surfaced, the darker it started to sound. Suge described it as an initiation ritual, a test of submission before anyone gained access to the inner circle. According to online chatter, Snoop Dogg was even rumored to have passed that test. Fans started pointing out his strange obsession with boiled eggs, posting them, eating them, joking about them nonstop. On its own, it looked harmless. But once you line it up with the allegations, the supposed rituals, and the federal investigations, it stops feeling funny real fast. Because this was never about food, it was about obedience, about showing how far someone would go for power, protection, and privilege inside Hollywood's most secretive spaces. And here's where people really started paying attention. When those same circles begin collapsing under federal investigation, innocent people usually react with shock, concern, or anger. Guilty ones move differently. They stay calm, act confused, or quietly start reshaping their image. That's exactly how Snoop responded when asked about Diddy. Instead of outrage, he spoke about being shocked, about trying to be a better boss, about treating people right because he knows what it's like to be treated badly. It sounded smooth, respectful, and almost too polished. Every word felt rehearsed, like a PR statement wrapped in humility instead of empathy. Observers noticed immediately. People pointed out that when a close associate is facing serious federal charges, innocent reactions don't usually sound like leadership speeches. It felt less like concern and more like damage control. That's the difference people noticed right away. Real reactions come from emotion, not from a script. Snoop's response felt calculated, like strategic virtue signaling, shifting the spotlight away from the accusations and placing it back on himself as the good guy. But when you zoom out and look at the full picture, from Kim Porter's alleged documentation to Suge Knight's confessions, to the unanswered questions surrounding Tupac's final days, and even the eerie boiled egg stories, everything keeps circling back to the same thing, a web of control, a system that's quietly ruled the entertainment world for decades. And that leaves one haunting question. If someone as beloved and protected as Snoop Dogg could allegedly be tied into this world for years, how many others are caught in the same system? How many stars people idolize have been compromised, pressured, or silenced behind the scenes? Because if and when those sealed tapes ever surface and the names finally start dropping, people won't just be shocked. They'll realize this was never just about music. It was about power. A billion-dollar machine built not on creativity, but on leverage and compromise. And if you've made it this far, you already know this story is just getting started. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to see it, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Stay locked in, and we'll see you in the next one, because this story is far from over.